Immanuel Quickley is a guy who I'm very intrigued to watch this coming season because the first few years of his career, he's in New York, he's coming off the bench, and he showed a lot of potential as a player, finished second in Sixth Man of the Year voting in 2023. But, because he was in the Knicks and because they brought in Jalen Brunson, it felt like he was always going to be capped as coming off the bench as a super sub sixth man. Then he gets traded to Toronto, and it feels like, okay, here's the opportunity he's been waiting for. Like, I think he's talked about wanting to be a starting caliber point guard. I think he definitely has the talent to be a starting caliber point guard. Then he gets traded to Toronto, and then it's like, okay, here we go. This is the chance. And he definitely looked good in the 38 games he played in Toronto, going from 15 points in New York to 18 points in Toronto, 2.5 assists to 7. And so you definitely liked what you saw. But I feel like heading into this season, the expectations are even higher, in part because, okay, you're now the official starting point guard, right? Like this wasn't like an audition. This wasn't like something that we just put together midseason. Like, you're our guy, and with that comes some level of responsibility. Where before, when you were coming off the bench, don't get me wrong, teams obviously scouted and accounted for Immanuel Quickley, but now you're the starting point guard, and there's just going to be more eyes on you, more coverage, more defense, and so now it's like, okay. It's a much different ball game thriving when you're coming off the bench, going up against bench guys. But now when you're talking about going up against the best point guards in the NBA, some of the best defenses teams have to offer every night, like, that's different. Can you handle that additional level of coverage? And I think what's also going to be a lot of pressure for Quickley this year is that, the first few years in the league, basically anything he did was sort of like the Knicks were sort of playing with house money, and that anything they got out of Quickley was great because they literally drafted him with like the 20th pick. So it's like anything you can get out of the 20th pick when you're paying him so little amount, like, you'll take it. And if he struggles, yeah, that sucks. But like, you also it's not like the investment isn't as much, I guess is how I would put it. But now the Raptors just gave this guy a 5-year extension worth $175 million. So it's like, all right, like from before it was like, oh my God, like everything Immanuel Quickley, like, this guy's so good, it's such a pleasant surprise. Now it's like, dude, you better put up, otherwise we're gonna get pissed, or otherwise we're gonna have a problem. So those two factors make Immanuel Quickley like very interesting to watch now. It's like, can he, he thrived so much, like bringing the spark off the bench for New York, but now, okay, can he bring that energy to the starting position in Toronto? And I think it's going to be interesting, especially because, like, I think something working in his favor is that, like, he didn't just go to like the starting point guard of a team that just has no talent, that's like a barren wasteland. No, Toronto actually has a lot of legit pieces. He obviously came in with RJ Barrett, Scotty Barnes is an all-star, Grady Dick, like they have pieces to work with. And so like seeing how Immanuel Quickley navigates these new waters of not just being the starting point guard, but also being the starting point guard and someone who's getting paid so much money to do it. Like, you're supposed to be one of the guys, one of the franchise pillars of this new era of Raptors basketball. Like, I'm very fascinated to see how it goes for him, and I'm hoping and I'm very confident that it's going to go very well because every other step of his career has so far, and I'm really rooting for him.